PRX Something is known for his crazy, chaotic playstyle where he hits the most absurd shots I've ever seen. This year, he has proven himself to be one of the best but unique duelists within Valorant. But how does he consistently hit these insane shots, and what goes into his crazy playstyle that makes it so effective?
And he's going in for more, a second, perhaps a third!
Something is primarily a spray aimer. The majority of his fights, especially at close range, will involve him spraying with the Vandal, but he doesn't crouch at all when doing this. So this means it makes his recoil a lot stronger, and so he uses this to his advantage by not hyper-focusing on his crosshair being perfect, and instead he will let his recoil push his crosshair up onto the head for him. So you will see him spray most of the time at close to medium range. But what happens when something is in a long range engagement? Well, actually, his aim completely changes. From being super shaky and spraying at close, to be much more relaxed at long range, where he'll use a 3-bullet burst technique with a heavier focus on crosshair placement. His movement is the only thing that stays the same, as you'll see him do small strays between each burst. What I noticed in his medium range fights is that he'll be doing a burst technique but transition into a spray, especially after missing the first 2 counter strafes. This technique is great for a play like Something, as his Sens, which is 0.65 800 DPI, allows him to skip many engagements where micro adjustments are very important. Understanding where you've made mistakes in Valorant is crucial, and that's why I partnered up with SwiftSkill, who provide free unique stats to help find your next steps to rank up. SwiftSkill delivers in-depth visuals such as heat maps that show exactly where you've died during a game. This can help pinpoint your mistakes, making your rank journey a whole lot easier. This is just one of many different stats you can find on SwiftSkill that can help accelerate your game. Also, did I forget to mention that you don't have to download anything, as it's a website, and so the link is in the top of the description. And thanks to SwiftSkill once again for sponsoring this video. Micro adjustments for high sense players is probably the #1 thing that they struggle to be consistent with, so Something manages to switch to his more consistent spraying aim style when he's struggling to adjust onto his target. However, Something has got pretty good at doing this consistently, as he trains his mouse control a lot in aim trainers. He mentioned in an interview he uses Kovacs a lot to keep his aim consistent, and also plays a lot of Valorant to ensure he has great muscle memory. This is his aim routine on screen, where he does a mixture of micro flicking and target switching. Something uses a fingertip grip to control his mouse, which allows him to make much more precise movements by using his fingers to move his mouse instead of his wrist. This is one of the reasons he's able to control this high of a sensitivity. So let's compare this to a low sense aimer like Demon 1, but in particular, look at the main difference between the way they adjust onto a target. You'll see a smooth aimer tracking the target, trying to be more precise, in which they usually hit the first couple bullets. Whereas a high sense player like Something will do micro flicks, and this is where you keep doing mini flicks onto the target instead of just smoothly tracking them. When a high sense player hits their micro flick first time, then it looks really impressive. Even though Something has gotten very good at consistently hitting these micro flicks, he still tries to avoid them, especially when it's at longer range, as he knows that's a weakness within his playstyle. You'll actually see in many of his clips, he'll avoid long range fights completely, as he thrives in close range engagements. Close range fights are great for a play like Something, as his high sense will allow him to be very comfortable at this range. So how does Something force these close range engagements so that he's in a favourable fight? Well, what I noticed is that he loves to play around smokes, as they can provide a very close range fight, and Something has implemented this one simple trick to win every smoke fight. Well, he buys the shorty. You'll see him buy it in many rounds, and it's great, especially when clearing these smokes, as he can jump around being a really hard target. Here's a great example of him using these smokes to his advantage. His team is doing an A split, and he sees an Astra smoke heaven, and so he dashes into that smoke, clearing it with the shorty and finding a kill. He then swings out the smoke, taking a 50-50 fight in which he wins, and then immediately dashes into another smoke as he wants to utilize on his aggressive positioning, and he catches another player off guard. This is how Something and PRX manage to end round within seconds, and to be honest, if you know how to be this aggressive, then you'll see yourself finding many free kills just because of how deep your positioning is. Positioning is a big part of Something's playstyle. As you've seen from the last clip, he almost instantly updrafts or dashes into certain parts of the map as soon as he either gets a kill or clears a side. It looks almost robotic, as there's no hesitation or a second before deciding what he wants to do next. This is because he wants to get in a really aggressive position as quick as possible. Timing is key when playing aggressive. Watch this clip for example. As soon as he dashes in and gets the entry kill, he knows exactly where he wants to be on the map, and so as soon as he clears the site, he's updrafting and trying to isolate another fight when the enemies don't expect it. Not only does this clip show his aggressive positioning, but also the way he forces close range fights while still being disciplined. After getting the second kill, he falls back with his team to ensure they win the round. Even though his playstyle is very fast and aggressive, he still takes caution to stop him directly sprinting into the enemy. For example, I noticed when he's clearing angles fast, he will still always make sure to stop when clearing a super common angle, as there's a much higher chance of an enemy being there, and the result of him stopping will allow him to get an accurate shot off every time. I also want to talk about the way you'll sometimes cut off noise in these aggressive situations and play more of a contact style. He said in an interview where if he notices that he's managed to get a really good position due to him being so aggressive, then he'll ensure to shift walk and get a free kill from his positioning being so unpredictable. Something explained why he's so aggressive, and he said sometimes you must be aggressive to win the round. For example, his team noticed that the enemies had high impact ultimates, so just playing post plan wouldn't work. So something new, he had to take a risk and play in an aggressive position in order to have a chance of winning that round. His position can disrupt the enemy retake as they must give up time to clear him. He managed to get one kill and retreat safely back to his team, and this will have caused enough problems for their enemies for them to win the round. The reason why Something is great at doing this is not only because he's a duelist, it's because he's great at these situations as he knows exactly how to force a favourable fight, whether that's using smokes or his positioning, but also he's very disciplined and knows when not to be greedy.
In my mind, I need to steal life.
Hopefully this has shown you an insight into how PRX Something has made his aim so consistent and how his fast, chaotic, close range playstyle helps him thrive as a player. Once again, big shout out to SwiftSkill for sponsoring this video. All their links will be in the description, and if you want to see how Demon 1 taps on his insanely low Sens, then you can click here. If not, it's been your boy Critical. Peace out.